was rewritten. Life is a bitch and then you die. That's why we get high, cause you never know when you're gonna go. I carry a cross of our bad and codes, as bad and lows that were once upon a certain zone. Held this close treacherous ghost at the pebbles boat. It was written but was never told. Perfect of most peasants off a devil's throat. But standing bold is my imperfect home against the tempted soul. However old the athletes or the answers shown to he who's on a quest for the tablet stones. Blessed is those, toss the coin and watch. Whichever better side, God knows I avoid the such. Still alive, bold and touch, so the head with this point is marked as 6 feet in the soil is much. Revealing the conscious mottos, predictions of the Nostradamus received awkwardly as was an orcus, uninvited visit, just one not honored. How peaceful the beds are chirping, but isn't it as the carpets of Marvins? Forced to oblige with such torturous times. What a half a wife and the thing that you'll see every morning rise. Damn. Makes me mortalized because of why the physical human is just a myth lifelong. Yeah, I am losing the beliefs I relied on. Discovering excuses she lied for. I guess it's on the one who chooses despite all. Cause most of them are not reliable. All that to me was once deniable turned out to be justifiable. Is each other's liable? But about a second thing than be a pessimist. Interestingly, a blessing is found in his cats. Fingers are lessons in every sad defeat. Living uninspired in these last times. Feeling like the fiber is my indecisive mind. Pop my power piece. Roll a plan in peace, ignoring politics. Beer cans getting heavier. I fear if man is really readier than the tearful sending off of a carrier of the truth untold. Who was to know that life will be as the future unfolds? Damn. The street desirable, brief the vital recited in revival of the titles of those who died. Cry, cry, a book of mine. A healing process is that feeling of progress in my book of rhymes. Is it like that choose him or he chooses life? He who lives by the pen, so by the tool he dies. Leave now, nigga. Smiles was rewritten. And thought changes, and love changes, and best friends become strangers. And thought changes, and love changes, and best friends become strangers. I never sleep, but sleep is the cousin of death. Dust is earth and blood is ash. The sun in the west, signal and ending. How fair the singer depending on your choice of gender. Voices of elders keep ringing as that unexpected doorbell. The more girlies are short, the world the far less the heart tells. The same gospel I'm human is the heart hell, the ball fell. My future wife is beauty is inside. Unless the world isn't what you treat like a child. At the crucial times of no sleep, with why shouldn't I? Human life reduced to high, so major low. For every whistle blown, there's a wrinkle shown. For every bleeding soul, there's evil stones that people throw. Old scars reappearing, call the stars for years fearing. Follow us to keep declaring. None of this was forcing, I was on in. A drop of thing my sword to win. When I fought with battles of love, I was caught in. And thought changes, and love changes, and best friends become strangers. And thought changes, and love changes, and best friends become strangers. Thought changes, and love changes, and best friends become strangers. And thought changes, and love changes, and best friends become strangers. Such intractable wars, had the breath ran at the loss for ways, such ineffable thoughts. For my defensible force, I neglected the cause. In the absence of gods, and so he's a trash, the source, and found pleasurable yards. Call the lost to bless all that I give off the fall. For every honest talk that we're connected and more about the thoughts. Abducted by you, from whom I sought advice. For while it was sought to eye, but now formalized is normalized. On the borderline of the walk inside betwixt the home and the top remind. This is the life we chose where friends become foes. Get intrigued by some of those with whom I expected to run close. But for as long as the sun goes down, it will never go untold in my sun flows. Sun glow where the grit to switch to business deals. The sickest feel of what and eye witnesses. But I live by the premise, which is the easiest tip is not on the critics' slips. Isn't it, nigga? And thought changes, and love changes, and best friends become strangers. And thought changes, and love changes, and best friends become strangers. And thought changes, and love changes, and best friends become strangers. And thought changes, and love changes, and best friends become strangers. It's one life, one love, so there can only be one king. The where blood spills and corrupt fills just for God deals. Nothing is granted in life, regardless I remain smartest at mine. With all the cunning fights I am confronted by. Stuck to die, coming right to the back of time. Contacted the higher cause the conduct to strive is that only he who started the drive can never conduct it right. Yes, that's right. Thought changes, love changes, best friends become strange. Shout outs to now, it's Nostradamus was rewritten. I can be what I wanna be. If I work hard a day, I'll be where I wanna be. I know I can be what I wanna be. If I work hard a day, I'll be where I wanna be. Vibrant souls rise as cries that rose and try to go for the highest notes. For as long as the moon rises, just move right to his musical vibe to get in tune with life. It's all for you to snooze and why by a view of mine there's none huge to climb. The human mind is your only tool. Life of solitude gets eyes cold as June. Feeling uninspired, vibing to holy tunes as I close with Lucas. I'm a project wheeler with all things dark as the morning widow. But regardless if the wheel is slow, just know and keep know that progress is a kilo. Slow motion is indeed an ocean with which you cross oceans and seas as you throw caution to the winds. And focus potently is a potion with which we live our chosen dreams. Don't allow those emotionally lowly speak to get your emotions weak. None of us is mere mortals, know if we'll be here to marvel. It's your choice to challenge, fear or wallow. Yes, I know I can be what I wanna be. If I work hard a day, I'll be where I wanna be. I know I can be what I wanna be. If I work hard a day, I'll be where I wanna be. Daddy was a bricklayer offering cheap labor to rich neighbors. So as a teenager I knew I had a dream greater. My cloth cut back the skill tailor, so I don't need favors. Rather be it now than being it later. Don't allow the past to dictate you. And you for focus you'll see the flavor to be happy is in paper. I really wonder what he thought of fascination. What a passive nation in need of a vaccination. Dreams change as we live in age. As scenes rearrange, so do our visions and names. But there's no reason to fade. It's up to her to be a doctor or a teacher, and not for the readers. Remain strong, a believer to overcome the stormy upheavals. Take heed when the great speak and have a brave beat. Breath is the best, if not the greatest, perfect wealth. Hence, expect the steps should be taken to enhance the health. Yes, I know I can be what I wanna be. If I work hard a day, I'll be where I wanna be. I know I can be what I wanna be. If I work hard a day, I'll be where I wanna be. Look at the biggest products, it's the sense and the contrast of the worth 1,000. One day you'll prove wrong, the rest are doubted. Do not compete, it's your own race, be running free. Easy about thee and none of the him. Don't follow, rather lead. You'll be blown by what you thought you can't achieve as a flower is by a summer breeze. Keep your head high, even the dead rise through the wet life. Sleeping in bed in fright of what the next hour holds is normal the most. But power to the bold that never cower but grow whenever they stumble on the road. Wipe your sweating face and keep running the present race. May her dreams be bigger than a wedding day. I used to search in vain for a peaceful dwelling place until I realized I'm that work can change. The bigger the dreams, the more problems expand and leave me exhausted in strength. But we just keep at it till the remonstrance death is collected to death. Yes, I know I can be what I wanna be. If I work hard a day, I'll be where I wanna be. I know I can be what I wanna be. If I work hard a day, I'll be where I wanna be. Yo, street dreams are made of days. Who am I to disagree? Travel the world and the 7 seas. Everybody is looking for something. That's all I need, nigga. I need is one mic, Mars. The power of the pen is in the darkest of hours. Help me out to the tower when I tend to get coward in threat. Refreshingly revitalized like how that warm shower felt. The second I had known that what's expected at Rome is not respected at home, I felt nervously cold as I severed the close. Our perception of the globe is senseless at most, but eventually we accept in this world you'll never be free. However, I keep imagining how heaven feathers feel, but through the mind I took control of where my plane feather leads. Some days you may feel drained with no energy saved, as the derailing train has the journey straight. They carry faith and tend to escape and feel evasive and vague. plague. Feeling powerless as the cancer keeps spreading in veins, how pervasive a plague. It's like an infantry raid invading the brain, and as his power of attack was defensively delayed, I held back mine for peace and serenity sake, cause patience is fate. I write down all that I need side out, asking life how, why now. These are the matters that I grapple with, they mark my restless beats in the battlefields.
All I need is one mic. Check, 1, 2. All I need is one mic. Check, 1, 2. All I need is one mic. Check, 1, 2. All I need is one mic. Check, 1, 2.
Thinking how love melted as I reminisce on how sweet it felt then. That warm touch of fat girls melted as I held them. But in the essence I still pray for them to be as blessed as the remnant. Instead of the peasants, as she focused to the present and pick up from where I got left at. I pulled up my soft socks after they made me feel a smaller cock, frozen as the all-frost. You never know for sure, we seldom turn out on the floor, dross of the bronze sauce. But one's forced to accept the odds cost at all costs. She flattered and I kissed the back, but each breath seemed intense as a bitterness, such as to give the bath. Considering how the last season fell, one never knows how cold the next winter will get in the wilderness. But we just learn to survive till the green is back. Such a life gets annoying as the summer flies. It's a run of fight, song to write, a song from fry, song for fly.
All I need is one mic. Check, 1, 2. All I need is one mic. Check, 1, 2. All I need is one mic. Check, 1, 2. All I need is one mic. Check, 1, 2.
As we keep fighting in this war, the pen is mighty or not. The writer saw with which I prevail against lightning storm. Finding it hard to engage with what the heavens propose. And leaves one praying to God for the strength of Moses, so I can lead my own life and avoid the cast and corrosive. At the moment I feel breathless, just coping with the exact opposite of what heavens has promised. But I might come as ungenerous across, but the lack of answers cause one to question, how is he jealous of God that it isn't expected from me as his personal form? What is it testament of? What's this reference for? I kept the need and sought the set of loss that the rap have been lost. Feeling dehydrated as the signs of a collapse strike. Life is forever, get fight, cry, you better die. Living with such an idolatrous wife, such a hollow nation. How the monarch is painted, will have the marble tainted. Getting sick of all the Afro-hated. Peace to all the souls that the gallows fainted. The struggle he was that I've been approbated. These are my lost gospels inspired by Nas, Novels, and Paul Lovers.
Check, 1, 2. All I need is one mic. Check, 1, 2. All I need is one mic. Check, 1, 2. All I need is one mic. Check, 1, 2.
Ma, one time for your mind like this. Hey, seasons changing, system raging, but even ancient people building, resisting aging. Consulted with the priest is saying I existed faithless, but of the doctor but he needed patience. A black victim of hatred in the eyes of a building nation. Reading papers, just seeking the latest. Lived in the basement with the family facing each day as it's taken. Wishing paychecks could exceed the payments, but somehow we just survived the minimum wages. In any case, another day, another dollar. Don't know what movie title I should name this author solver. Never imagine a war in which I face my brother. The blood is thought to be thicker than water. Smoking something potent, looking at photos to full friends. Trying to rephrase motors we both shared. All on a quest for glory. War, for some it's girls and money. Wow, this are my saddest stories. Blessed homies.
Watch them niggas that's close to you, and make sure they do what they're supposed to do. You know they be thinking about smoking you. Never personal, nowadays is the ways. Watch the niggas that's close to you, and make sure they do what they're supposed to do. You know they be thinking about smoking you. Never personal, nowadays is the way.
Yo, I hearken to the word from of the wise. As it's done, it's all lifeless if you've gone mindless. As the lost ignored the crisis, I just walked and talked in silence. The calling horn of the dime became my favorite song on the wireless. Of course, it's a non to be frightened. Hey, wasn't David when he fought Goliath? Losing faith only leads to excusing fate. I cruised in ways with no clue in place to where this music takes.
for him to choose his taste. Looking straight in their crooked ways like how useless to say. Oh, what a human waste. We once lost until all was assumed became. Now who is to blame? He who isn't fully ashamed that he be the one to shoot his face. Changing forms as I find unapplicable. I see their smiles most are just cynical. Felt I was ridiculed by a second whom I never got to see again. The season flew. Though I never sat down to eat with the fam, I bought them dinner. What's your problem, nigga? Still trying to drop that liquor. I'm trying to have it but unliver.
Watch them niggas that's close to you and make sure they do what they're supposed to do. You know they be thinking about smoking you. Never personal, nowadays is the ways. Watch them niggas that's close to you and make sure they do what they're supposed to do. You know they be thinking about smoking you. Never personal, nowadays is the way.
I found it so hard if there ever gets peace in a crowded home. How we tend to grow so fast, feeling like we're grounded old. Made strong by the wise ways that then sounded cold. But time passed round and round, it goes around and round the globe. Decisions to make need a less clouded dome. At times I feel like my liver might stop functioning. I was caught sanctioning those from whom I short purchases. Traveling alone in long passages leading to dark colleges. Feeling like I'm amongst those that God punishes. A soldier with lost cartridges doesn't retreat in normal manages to still show how broad his coverages. It's all mandatory on that and preparatory work. There's more beyond the ceremony of death and the symmetry sign.
Watch them niggas that's close to you and make sure they do what they're supposed to do. You know they be thinking about smoking you. Never personal, nowadays is the ways. Watch them niggas that's close to you and make sure they do what they're supposed to do. You know they be thinking about smoking you. Never personal, nowadays is the way. Watch them niggas that's close to you and make sure they do what they're supposed to do. You know they be thinking about smoking you. Never personal, nowadays is the ways. Watch them niggas that's close to you and make sure they do what they're supposed to do. You know they be thinking about smoking you. Never personal, nowadays is the way. Blood of a slave running in my veins. Heart of a king, muscles like Shaka Zulu. Blood of a slave running in my veins. Heart of a king, muscles like Mampuru. Blood of a slave running in my veins. Heart of a king, muscles like Shaka Zulu. Blood of a slave running in my veins. Heart of a king, muscles like Mampuru. Heart is of a warriors, descendant of kings, pure blood is the holy sons. Looking back into my lonely past like how glorious. Now temptations are close enough, smoking much coke and blood, thinking of how awfully much courtly sucks. Ignoring such will only result in body to dust, earlier than the dawn in dark. In all honesty, it's tough finding the meaning of life, such a daunting task. But we just rise to the morning sun like how we supposedly done. Nelson Salis, how as the weather gets. Nevertheless, the never snaps, alters angers felt. It mass answers the matter, slash you tell the rest of your jealous friends you second best. I guess the FedEx is less lighter when it rests on tighter hands. Except all else requested then was just fatter stats. And by the grace of God the race was won. Television gave it a call, who's the most races of all. Break this altar, made such faces form. The bravest of talks made the Lord appointed me as the one to bring forth. But three more were pointed in the opposite of his thumb. I took it all under my wing arm, for there was a wee song which from my hinged on. How did I real warm of freedom switch off to go see calm? I ever just sit calm and brush my feet and palm. As decorated as his semen all in this strange cloth, I just cover the skin fog is all I'm in need of. The world is hateful, world is tasteful. Look at what the girl teens changed to. Look at the talents he gave you, you can achieve his dreams less as wasteful. I can see the evil machinations employed. The system had people of many nations destroyed. Yet I felt the moving better music that is therapeutic. It walked forever and I can see Paul Pepper since the end draws never. Damn, I only pray it gets called favor. Man, hallelujah, hallelujah. Lord have mercy. Blood of a slave running in my veins. Heart of a king, muscles like Shaka Zulu. Blood of a slave running in my veins. Heart of a king, muscles like Mampuru. Blood of a slave running in my veins. Heart of a king, muscles like Shaka Zulu. Blood of a slave running in my veins. Heart of a king, muscles like Mampuru. I meet Ramira on the wall like you're talking to you. Good afternoon, it's Mastradamus, the prophet of doom. Got lost in the womb, only to find myself on a rocket to moon. Feeling like the small solace in that room, but the skies of my planet are blue. Such to tolerate is impossible, but the laws made it impossible. All this weighted us is plausible. The mysterious is really serious, and tricks are devious, so considered see that gravy facts. Trying to deal with all the crazy facts about my shaky past, but it's not all negative like a dead quadrant. I watched just the quiet let, I sang the choir step, but the fire had was to acquire wealth. Riddle, riddle, twinkle, twinkle, little, little. The moon is just but one of many stars. Some are closer to where we are, some are very far.
No inducements can make me excuses of what the music has been introduced as. I find it offensive that some are tirelessly possessive on such a priceless collective. Can I not make you mine? Is jealousy, admiration, or love just hate in disguise? Welcome the race as it rises, as I pray to the skies. They say the high never hastily replies, it seems delaying his times. I don't know, but it made me realize that I'm the question and the answer. What you looking for? You are the slave and the master. The pain is after becoming way worse as I pray, let the God take the matters. Hoping he listens, cause quoted in these lyrics is his holy scriptures. I hope it suffices, all these surprises, nobody is smiling. So many frown faces around these places. Sounding racist when you talk about the ages when they were crowned the greatest. Felt like I'm a clown facing around a Macy's. Feeling violated as time is fading, trying to see when mine is dated. Man.
Last chapter speaks.
And of course, it may yes, how the letters to spell. Mars. Mars.
Last chapter.
They've been looking around like a zero and they finally found the hero. Some crown the ego, gets it lifted off the ground as an eagle, but it's proud as he grows. I felt the moment, it was man, that's an omen, cause I had my breath stolen. Even though the heart had no more strength loaded, I just kept it open. Hoped it was once, did it happen with that notice slot. Must be mass hoping is amongst those that are blessed by the Holy Son. I'm just a ghetto child, made it out of the dark and say hello life. The halo is bright as the mellow mind. The ever sign pointed out to me as the one like the fellow Christ. On the straight and narrow line, life all sad and fairy. Finally a man felt my chest is heavy. I still standing carried across the veg, a Mary had an abortion. Kept on marching for none of the rest that's watching has the answers to life. Sleeping real easy, I'm the mastermind. When it gets dark at night, we still know the sun will rise. Then it says, then it rises again, that's life and they anticipate the night as the second coming. Darker than perfectly sunny. I saw the shadows of the night and just kept on running. I held the tummy as the earth was breathlessly loving. And of course in me yes, how the letters to spell. And of course in me yes, how the letters to spell. And of course in me yes, how the letters to spell. And of course in me yes, how the letters to spell. Understanding yourself is a master's imperative check. Second is first if your only competition is breath and your inner thoughts. A sinner was brought up as how Jesus was brought up, to be a seer of storms. Being the greener cause doesn't make me green at all, but makes me sympathize with the feeling of who he is. And of course, nature provided the teachings of God, so we all learn not just what the Greeks are taught. The bitter was that the leader for determines his destiny from the initial walk. Mass is coming as Jesus spoke, it is as crystal, a drop that which is needed hard is my critical art. Felt disgruntled, but when I and the missus Scuttle, I realized life isn't all a perfect piece puzzle. Every design page came in a refined shape. Undecided brain finally reconciled and came to an ultimate conclusion to end the ugly hate and confusion. Exposed by a sunny day are contusions of my soul. My heart contained pollutions I must have gained from collusions. Looking at the light as it radiates, feeling like it's already late, but better than that, never gets the fairy fate. Whichever twinkle lasts, there'll always be a little laugh. For every symbol chant, there'll always be a riddle dash. And of course in me yes, how the letters to spell. And of course in me yes, how the letters to spell. And of course in me yes, how the letters to spell. And of course in me yes, how the letters to spell. I think I have a story to tell, I think I found a page. Drowned in safe, I think I had somebody shout my name. Walking around full of shame, thinking awfully go far away fame. But I realize I'm not out of the game, I gotta be proud I changed. Shift to focus now in the brain, there's no more clouded aim. A true serious rider like you see me is my Kaiser. I too isn't religious neither. Nas is like moon, wind and fire, just as Mars is like the previous one he inspired. I woke it and feeded and promptly resisted the stories written, falsely encrypted only for the riches. Such help me in a captive mind for an extensive time. Best things in this crazy life carry an expensive price. The rich keep defending that light, it's life better depending on mine. My heart is a homely mind, got heavy 45. It's all glory of my life, now I keep growing and strive to be 45. Just to be 45. Much to ask of, the ask of what. Hello, yes. Much to ask of, the ask of, it's much struck garbage. Show me my sunshine, hey, now the love it right. Remember the times I hung with the dimes and all the wild things I used to do. Show me my sunshine, hey, and I don't love it right. Remembering the time
it was on my mind, but none of them could touch you. I'm counting two in the field, even bountiful, but what 1,000 is you. But how she refused to accept me made me feel like a drowning fool. So loud is the tune, but I was in a lousy mood. A visitor that just came to my house to intrude. I kept shouting to the moon for I missed the clouded and blue. Truly ashamedly moved patiently solo to the two nature scenes. I felt I was threatened by such a sudden change of faster saddened. I stood stunned and breathless. I could no longer trust I careless. Is it love that just happened? Tough I pretended. As I just attempted to be smart as I wrestled with the doubt by which I was tempted. I felt the touch of madness. I was indicative of a start of an endless war betwixt hate and laughter. One can't be easy if it all does exist. How do we fall for such lies though? How do you call me a psycho? How do I remain tall in this cycle? Now I'm expected to be heavy, breathless sex with the virgin Mary, because my ex is married. I went to dig up where the past is buried, along with all the sadness it carried. When that madness is ending, you feel at once pretending it was good while it lasted. You put your eyes in conscience, visualize the husband of another woman lying buttered next to your wife that lost it. Kick the dying bucket, don't leave crying in a casket. Show me my sunshine. Hey, now don't love it right. Remember the times I hung with the dimes and all the wild things I used to do. Show me my sunshine, hey, and I don't love it right. Remembering the time, it was on my mind, but none of them could touch you. This wasn't something I had in waiting. I recall the happier days of dating, but now it's all sadly fading. You can't blame all the foolish fights on my stupid pride. A fulfilling life is immaterial. If it seems heavy, a girl just know she can be happier if she be herself. Know what the peace in the area expecting from DH Stereo. Refusing to hearken to the misses. Felt harder than weekend as the passing weekends. Why then our party distance? How we just suddenly ends like why we started distance? How can you be so heartlessly wicked? Now from crying to raging, our minds are changing. Clearly this wasn't the wise arrangement. Sometimes it's overwhelming. I miss the older settings. It gets colder yet I'm sweating. Hard to be objective when you and I are hardly connecting. Stop pretending to just be Kevin, notwithstanding none is perfect. These are my analysis of a powerless. What? Show me my sunshine. Hey, now don't love it right. Remember the times I hung with the dimes and all the wild things I used to do. Show me my sunshine, hey, and I don't love it right. Remembering the time, it was on my mind, but none of them could touch you. I'm not the perfect man, they ain't like I intended, she felt like my second best. I sincerely know that I haven't been as open. You had my heart, I dated it stolen, I was just heavily hopeless. The last walk to remember, our last talk whichever. I became less angry, yet was shaken as burial. What would take to make her happier? Things she mentioned were various, most were affection and extraneous. Fuck it, we just never get all meant to be, some call it destiny.
World is this?
It's mine, it's mine, it's mine, it's mine.
Man, we all are to be represented by the state presidency, its main deputy or whichever case it may be. So deadly the sentence, namely modern day slavery. That is the greatest fallacy which rules the world, and it pervaded the energy which made it an enemy. Heads of states that embrace, yet we are still led by their fate. Our society needs to be rigorously rearranged. Our devious as snake is money, so similarly the same since it viciously became the medium of exchange. That all people mysteriously enslaved, we chase more till our grave calls. The hard labor takes its toll as ages fall. The costs and rise are the cost of the right reported lives. These are the connected times of our recorded lives. Some let it control your mind. No cash, no exchange of expenses, and the credit extended make it worthless. How great the debt is. Heavy burdens inflate and depresses the nation's spending.
Whose world is this? Whose world is this?
I'm out for dead fucking presidents to represent me.
Whose world is this? Whose world is this?
I'm out for dead fucking presidents to represent me.
Protect the reach, the truth is denied publicly, so transformation for majority of those who live in abject poverty homes is radically slow. How do you survive on a random day? The more loan seizures, the more banks can gain. How am I supposed to afford a heavy price? The more you very rise, the more it affects various kinds of the very lines that make many envious inside. The late presidential lies became the deadliest alive. We offer labor time to get those facials inside.
slave for generation to gain veneration. It's like there's none usual in money. To protect all this president is a lunatic party. We go to war and the shooting is bloody. How can two mutual countries be facing such an unusual quandary? That evil take precedence over the truth we negate. I guess a lie is just as effective in a huge debate. That's not judged by the paper cover and neither by its book preface. Damn.
Whose world is this? Whose world is this?
I'm out for dead fucking presidents to represent me.
Whose world is this? Whose world is this?
I'm out for dead fucking presidents to represent me.
It's the root of all evil, blinded the good in more people. The reason lives are traded and crimes are rated. God enlighten me in this misery. Your lightning of misery. The lightning keep missing me. The irony in similes. I'm materialistic, I'm minimalistic. Look at the credit statistics, it's rather scary being just realistic. All my acts of benevolence has had me in that of the bench. Bribe judges made the right touches, trying to keep up with the price charges. Mandela still at the placenta of all modern matters. All that less ambitious is you who chose not to obsess with riches. We call them leaders, it afforded heat like an adopted Jesus. Now I flock winder with a shepherd that lost morality. The more you spend, the less you take the loss comfortably. Politicians became populist. The power used to gain opulence, also strengthen apartheid monuments. Cash is king, we share this scene till we ashes deep. Damn.
Whose world is this? Whose world is this?
I'm out for dead fucking presidents to represent me.
Whose world is this? Whose world is this?
I'm out for dead fucking presidents to represent me.
Whose world is this?
I'm out for dead fucking presidents to represent me.
Whose world is this?
I'm out for dead fucking presidents to represent me.
See no evil, fear no evil. If you don't bring that shit around you, ain't got nothing to worry about, nigga. Forgot to lineages and contorted images caused the war of villages against those who afford the privileges. Statutes and rights constituted lies so protruded while statues of crime polluted the skies. A barcode on human life traded over against a forsaken soldier. Untold tales you are the prison for these hiatus. Seekers in this life by the mind are brought into existence the virus. A war betwixt the righteous and the sinners is vital. Belittle you my eye could be to you a sin is vital. Some know how ridiculous the lie is, but they keep singing highest. It's like a farm area where in the drums are various sounds of dumb animals. Whichever melody is better, get tuned to sing to. Voters left with the paradox of the lesser of two evils. Monkey leaders was seen, some of the scenes are so obscene. Never since I encounter, all I never felt in this round, the cycles from the outer. Proving right, God is truly divine. Have my soul purified, I can never you deny. I open my third eye just to watch a bird fly. Yes, and that's the word lie. That's the way it lies. It's a small war, nigga, you reap what you sow. Or goes around, comes around. If you sleep, you don't know. A very small world where beef could never end. At the time you least expected, I'ma see you again. It's a small world, you get away with it now. Soon enough, you catch us up to you some way, somehow. It's a small world, watch what you do, nigga. Yes, watch what you do. Life's blessings are countless, though respectively powerless. If something is depressive to the ground, that letting it out helps. We keep neglecting how breath is expressive of the round F. Say hello uncertain times, greet that lady of mine with whom I've been married for a while. Our inevitable separation has been in planning since night. I gladly, soberly accepted it unknowingly that all the cabins is orderly happen accordingly till we are parted by the expected surety. I must say its arrangement feeds a nation's script. We wait to find God took a life and made it a suicide look alike. There's never an unusual time, but even in death humankind still truly find a reason for a crooked smile. Matter unspoken law, a weather of a hopeless law. And anger my soul is broad. None of us is prepared for such a moment, Lord. But feather the golden is saw. It's a small war, nigga, you reap what you sow. What goes around comes around. If you sleep, you don't know. A very small world where beef could never end. At the time you least expected, I'ma see you again. It's a small world, you get away with it now. Soon enough to catch us up to you some way, somehow. It's a small world, watch what you do, nigga. Yes, watch what you do. The most peaceful of life is, but if
you think the fight is against life, you're eyeless. But I redefine it and be defiant. I've also been trying to find these diamonds like the miners, but what I realize is that there's even the prices inside us. Out there to maintain connected lanes with the righteous gods of grace for peace and comfort's sake. Is it the loss that make the divorce rate or not just the cause of fate? A call of duty triggered by a lance and picked up my firearm, cause the smiles and the hearts became a virus in the blood. I still remain triumphant in regard of all that I was given as a child in the slums. Cry if you must, but when his wife was fucked by his close related, he told him hatred. We live and we die, that's just a story traded. We all in need of salvation from harm. A life confrontation is a call for meditation to unlock deep engagements. I had paused in my conversation with God. Rather humans arbitration and cards. It's a small war, nigga, you reap what you sow. What goes around comes around, if you sleep you don't know. A very small world, where beef could never end. At the time you least expected, I'ma see you again. It's a small world, you get away with it now. Soon enough to catch us up to you some way, somehow. It's a small world, what should you do, nigga? Yes, what should you do? It's silent, silent murder. What? It's silent, silent murder. Rest in peace to everybody that lost somebody, man. It's life thing, we don't understand it, but we wake up every day, try to live it to the fullest. Smash. Yo, peace awakening. Peaceless it, peace to everybody, man. Yo, all I need is one mind. Live now, nigga. Live now, you gotta live now, nigga. All I need is one mind.